And we're back. Welcome to Kindness Rising, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Every weekday morning, we come here with a little hope, humanity, and heart for you. We're building a community here, the greatest morning community on the web. And we've got people joining us already. Hey, Jess. Good morning. Good morning. Those pictures of Danda are coming up. You asked for them. You got them. It was a little bit of a struggle, but I found some good ones. A couple. Yep, all week long, we've been talking about fearless connections and stories of my grandmother, Danda, Danda, whose name was given by my sister who couldn't say grandma. She couldn't say grandma, and it came out Danda. And Danda was her name from 1970, whatever, on. Anyway, my grandmother was an amazing person, and I love telling stories about her. I've got two of them for you today. We're going to do it a little different. For my Sully, good morning. For Sully, for Jess, I didn't do a who's who and a what's what and a wait and all that. We'll have a little fun, but I've got too much other stuff. Jess, thanks for asking. I did not have to get out the photo albums. I got out. I mean, I had a few digital things, some stuff from Facebook. Honestly, yesterday was a little crazy, hectic day. I wanted to get a little bit more. Oh, the Secaucus, New Jersey, Morton down. Yeah, okay. I'll tell that one again at the end if we have a little time. My grandmother made an appearance on the Morton Downey Jr. show. This is going to be a special day. Good morning, Keith. Good morning. Absolutely. We're talking about Danda because she noticed people. She reached first. She was curious. She remembered, and then she celebrated them. She didn't reserve that kind of attention for important people, though. Most of my stories were about politicians and soldiers and other famous people, journalists. But I got one for you today, not just with those people. The stranger, the person behind the counter, the name on the card, the number on a sticker. Yeah, sometimes a number on a sticker was all she had to go on. That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, Keith. Yes, and Jess. Great. All right, so here's the story. This is the story of Holroyd's in the house. Good morning. Glad to see you, buddy. This is the story of my grandmother and the box of chocolates and the sticker. So my grandmother receives in the mail a box of chocolates. Somebody was traveling, went to Louisiana, actually, this was from. And because she connected with so many people just thought of her. We don't even know where the gift came from. That doesn't matter. What matters is she gets this box of chocolates. She opens the box of chocolates and she's amazed. They're the most delicious looking, beautiful chocolates, each piece carefully made and inspected. And inside that box, as I'm sure you all have experienced in your life, there's a little sticker. And the sticker says, inspected by number 6. See those stickers and stuff you've opened up before? Yeah. Inspected by number 6. Most people, including myself, and I'm sure you, just throw the stickers away and start mowing on the chocolate. Not Danda. She started making phone calls. She looked for the name, the address, however she found it in the phone book in 19 whatever. Started making phone calls to find the person who was number 6. Inspected by number 6. Yep. She started making those phone calls, and eventually she got to this person. All she wanted to tell her was those are the most magnificent chocolates I've ever seen. And she found her, a woman she had never met in Ponchatoula, Louisiana, known only by a number on a sticker to my grandmother. And my grandmother called her and told her how beautiful her work was. And that might have been the end of the story, right? But of course not. It's not the end of the story ever with Danda. That surprising phone call, the kind word, the lovely moment, that moment turned into a lifelong relationship. And in exchange, with a simple person who's making chocolates in Louisiana, but they would call each other randomly. They would send cards, all that stuff. That's it. That's the noticing. That's the kindness that my grandmother taught me, taught our family, and It's a pretty cool story. Like to think about someone doing that. All right. Well, you wanted to see her. Here's the reveal. Jess, you watching? I've got a couple of photos. I'll show you this first one first. There she is, the great Danduni. She was, this was later. Most of the photos I have, unfortunately, are later because I didn't have a chance to go through the photo albums. There she is. There she is. And then another one of our favorites. This was her 100th birthday. Of course, she is the queen, will always be the matriarch and the queen of our family. There she was, wearing her stuffed crowns, probably after having just sipped a nice, hefty Southern Comfort Manhattan. And I promise you, she was the life of her own 100th birthday party. All right, I got a couple more coming up too. We'll save those. That's Danda. There she is. All right, so let's do this. All right. Here's the thing. We love the big gesture, the surprise, a dramatic reunion, an unexpected gift, a phone call from a stranger who only knows us as number 6. But that wasn't who Danda was only. Those things are easy to remember. Those stories are easy to tell. They have a beginning and end. But most relationships aren't built in a single moment. They're built in the ordinary ones, that second call, the next card, the I was thinking of you, I saw something on TV and thought of you, right? The birthday remembered, conversations that continue, and conversations about life and who you are. That's how Danda did it. That was a Danda way. Kindness can happen once, but connection requires repetition. And that may be the hardest part, because reaching first can be spontaneous. It's easy to show up, but then showing up again, that requires your intention. You have to remember, you have to make time, you have to decide that this person still matters, even after that initial emotional moment passed. Danda did it with strangers, she did it with friends, and in the summer of 1992, I learned what it felt like when she did it for me. So I'm going to tell that story in just a minute here. Let's get off of the music. All right. Great question, Mike. What was her success to making it to 100? She says it was a Southern Comfort Manhattan. No, I believe. Well, I know it was faith. Faith in Christ and in her Catholic values. Absolutely. The number one, God for her. Good morning, Mom. I hope you've been listening. I just told the inspected by number 6 story, and we're going to move on to the summer of 92 when I lived with Danda. But Mike asked, what was the success to making it to 100? Love. I don't know. A Southern Comfort Manhattan and love. Pretty much it. God, family. All right. I actually prepared hard for this one because I know I'm going to get a little choky, but I don't want to get too blubbery because that's just the way it is. So, in the summer of 1992, imagine this guy on the side of your screen was 20 years old. 20 years old, just finished my sophomore year in undergraduate college. I'm going to use this music because it'll help me stay on the beat. Summer 1992, I was 20, just finished my sophomore year in college, and I earned an internship in right near where Danda lived. And as a matter of fact, she was one of the main reasons why I got the internship. A family friend who was in our field, who was a beautiful, generous, wonderful woman, welcomed me into her uh, into her environment as an intern, but it was because my family knew her. My aunt was a good friend. My grandmother knew her, and she opened the door for me. But it was Danda. So for 8 weeks, I moved into Danda's house. Danda was in her late 70s. She'd been a widow for just a few years. And really, what this story is about her house and about her. Yeah. So here's the thing: the house that we're talking about, this little Cape Cod style house, the main bedroom, is on the main floor, the master bedroom. Upstairs in the bedrooms were where my mother and her sisters grew up, and that's where I stayed. But the most important feature for me of Danda's house was the basement shower. Yep. Calling it a shower might be generous. It was basically just an open concrete brick wall with a cement floor and a drain in it. And it probably resembled more of a prison bathroom than the bathroom of a mid-century home. But as kids, we thought it was the greatest thing in the world. We could sing and dance down there, run around in the water, make an enormous mess, and there was always a fresh bar of Ivory soap. So when I moved in at 20, I got to use that shower every morning. But to reach it, I had to quietly pass Danda's bedroom. Head downstairs, I'd kind of sleep, sneak back. Her room would be open. I could peek in. She was sound asleep. I'd take my shower, not an unusually long shower, not a short shower, just a shower. And when I got back upstairs, I kid you not, lights were on, breakfast was made and on the table. And the craziest part was I would go upstairs to my room, and my grandmother laid out my clothes on my bed every morning. My socks, my underwear, my pants, my shirt. In the time it took me to take a shower. And she was asleep when I walked by. Think about that. That speed just absolutely amazed me. The precision, the care, the time, from the time it took me to walk downstairs, take a quick shower, and come back up, Danda was awake, made breakfast, gone upstairs, chose my clothes, laid them out, and completed it before I even realized she was awake. It felt like magic to me, even at 20. And it happened again and again and again. Not one big gesture, every day. Every day. She never announced it. She didn't wait for me to thank her. She just did it. Sorry. The internship may have helped me begin my career, but those mornings were really about love. Love that isn't loud. Breakfast on the table and a fresh bar of Ivory soap. It wasn't magic. It was just love. And that kindness made every morning special for me. For sure. All right. Holy crap. Danny Maldonado in the house. I'm glad you're here, Jerry. I'm glad you're here too. Thanks for letting me share about my grandmother. All right. That wasn't too bad. I don't have snot bubbles, do I? All right. Here's the thing. The chocolate story, that's really funny. Come on. Somebody opens up a box of chocolates and sees a sticker and is so amazed by those chocolates that she chased down those stickers, the person those stickers. But the deeper stories that you found are, of course, it's not. It's that first call that creates a moment that continues on and on. Jesus. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Let's get back to it. What the heck? Of course, that's what I'm talking about. The moment happens, but then the next step, the follow. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Mom. This woman. This might be a good time for the Morton Downey Jr. story then to change. Thanks, Mom. Yeah. My grandmother loved Morton Downey Jr. I've talked about him before. Morton Downey Jr., the loudmouth, chain smoking precursor to Jerry Springer, absolute just insanity scandal. She was also into like the National Enquirer and all those zany stories of that era in the world, John Benet Ramsey and just the whole thing. So she has a chance to go on Morton Downey, to be in the audience on Morton Downey Jr., Secaucus, New Jersey. And she goes. She goes. I don't remember who she went with or what, but she decided to bring her pranks. She loved little pranks or just little things. Anyway, so what she did was she brought, I think, a couple. I mean, the biggest one was she brought a fake nose. When I talk about like one of those plastic goes over your head, the Pinocchio nose that pokes out to here. And every time the camera passed by, she would like flash her nose. WOR TV, Channel 9. You're absolutely right, Sully. Every time go by, she'd have a long nose or a short nose or something, and she'd be smiling, just hamming it up in the camera on the Morton Downey Jr. show. And that's just who she was. She went with her brother Phil and okay, thanks, Mom. She went with her brother Phil and my grandfather to the Morton Downey Jr. show. She was known, she'd go to weddings with a squirt gun in her purse. Seriously. She'd go to weddings with a squirt gun in her purse. And like when things were getting a little too whatever, a little too tight, a little too crazy, she'd bust out the squirt gun, this 60, 70, 80-year-old woman, and start squirting people in the face with it. I mean, just unbelievable spirit. So thanks for reminding me of that part of her too, Mom. And of course, the Southern Comfort Manhattan. This wasn't supposed to turn into a full tribute to Danda, but here's a absolutely classic Danda photo that I have to show. If you can look closer, let me see if I can get get the zoom up. No, that's the wrong way, buddy. All right, well, that's the best I can do. This is not obviously, but I'm telling you, it is a Thanksgiving. I don't know if it was her last Thanksgiving, but it was a later Thanksgiving because we had digital cameras and stuff. And there she is sitting on the couch, drinking her famous Southern Comfort Manhattan out of a martini glass with a full turkey wing in her left hand. Just sitting on the couch, drinking a Southern Comfort Manhattan with a turkey leg. That's Danda. That's a classic Danda photo. All right. But here's the thing. We sometimes think and imagine as love as a feeling. And of course it is. But love also has a schedule. It appears on ordinary Tuesdays. It sends follow-up messages, and it sits through the second hour. It remembers the detail mentioned 3 conversations ago. It makes contact when there's no emergency and nothing to celebrate. That may be one of the purest forms of connection, reaching out when you don't need anything, when you don't need rescuing, when there's no obvious reason. That's something that Danda understood. She didn't contact just on events that gave her permission. She made contact her whole life. Number six. Right? That's how the number 6 became someone who Danda continued communicating with us. Because most of us just see labels, titles, job descriptions, the numbers. Danda found the person underneath. And she treated them the way they wanted to be treated, as human beings and not as disposable. That's the Danda stories. All right. The last photographs I have to show of Danda are of her with me. They're the only ones I was able to find quickly, both around the same era. There they are. Top one is a theater production that was, what's the movie about the 12 kids and the guy who has the 12 kids? I don't know. I played the doctor friend in not Cheaper. Yeah, Cheaper by the Dozen. Cheaper by the Dozen. And this was I don't remember what this was. Something probably near my high school graduation was my guess, based on the look and the feel of it. Anyway, she was there for a lot of it. All of it. Okay. All right. I still want to give you a compass for today, because this isn't about me getting up here and getting teary-eyed about my grandmother and about her stories alone. But it is for us to take what we learn. Howdy, Jerry Ginger. So glad you're here, buddy. I am glad you're here. I hope those doggos are doing great. Catching your rodents and releasing them, all that fun stuff. All right. Today's compass. Think of someone you reached out to once. Anyone know that reference? My mother spanked me once. Anyway. Here's today's kindness compass. Think of someone you reached out to once. Maybe they're having a difficult time. Maybe they started a new job, they moved, or they lost someone. And maybe you had one unexpected conversation with them, and both of you said, hey, we should stay in touch. Well, here's an opportunity. Stay in touch. Today, don't wait until the perfect message. Don't wait until the perfect hour. Don't assume that too much time has passed. Send the text, make the call. It can be simple. Hey, how'd that turn out? I was thinking of you. It's been a while. Those are the things that make a difference. You don't have to restart the entire relationship in one message. Just take the next step. Not the first step, the next one, because connection doesn't require constant contact, but it does require a return. All right. Yes, my grandfather. So that's the best, right, Mom? Thanks for saying that. My grandfather was mortified. My grandfather was a chemistry professor. I know, Mom. I know you never spanked me. That was a quote from a movie I was using. Never mind. Thank you for making it clear that my mother did not hit me. But anyway, my grandfather was such a kind, gentle, smart, brilliant, active mind. And then my wild-ass grandmother. Yeah, I can only imagine Pop at a wedding where everybody's in suit and ties and Danda's busting out the squirt gun. Oh, it's the best. All right. So that's it. I could go on and on and on and on, but let's kind of bring this week to a close. It has been an amazing week, Mike. Thank you. I just want to thank everyone who has shown up throughout the week, who's checked out the videos. I got a few extra subscribers to the channel. Hopefully people are out there and interested in joining the channel and joining us every week as we continue what started as our without a net Fearless Connection Week, which is still was just every story built around my grandmother instead of around myself. That's what happens sometimes when you go live and you show up every day. You turn left, you turn right, whatever happens. This was the momentum. It was the Danda momentum. And it's been an amazing week for me personally too in doing this, because I've learned so many things about my grandmother, about my stories, connected with my mother over it every day, talking about these things, important stuff. And the message is there. The message there is there, and it's clear. Fearless connection, right? People are waiting for you to connect with them. And there's a million ways to do it. Just go up to somebody and say hello, like Danda might, or write a letter to someone. Write a letter to somebody famous. You never know, they might get back to you. Today we have ways to do that. I don't know. It's a little different than it was then, I guess. But that's the point of this week. Reaching out first, remembering the details of people's lives. Those are the things that are going to make a difference in fearlessly connecting with people. Yep. And I sometimes think about that summer of 1992 when I was 20 and I was focused on where my life was going, my career, my opportunities, and my future. And Danda was there pulling me forward. She opened the door to the internship. She gave me a place to stay. All right, I'm not going to get myself sucked back into that. But she did show constant care and the consistency of what matters when you show up every day. Every day. And that's what we have to ask ourselves. Can I build kindness into the way I live? Can I become dependable? Can I develop attention as a habit? Maybe caring for someone after the emotional urgency is over. Showing up when the relationship becomes ordinary. I always think about the way I have sort of approached funerals and deaths. Of course, we show up for the wakes and that kind of thing, but especially for people that are close to me and anyone I will do it for. I try to do something a couple of weeks or a month later, a remembrance, because that's when it hits, right? When all the insanity is over and the moment's over of funerals or whatever, and the family's all gone and you're there. Yep. All right. My grandmother, she noticed the person behind number 6. She refused to let the number be the end of the information about this person. She was curious. She wanted to know who had taken all the care to make these chocolates. Danda found her, thanked her, and praised her. And in the way she did, she made room for her. And that's a beautiful way to live, to keep looking for the person behind the number, behind the uniform, behind the counter, behind the job title, behind the YouTube handle, right? Absolutely. So again, I just thank everyone who's come out this week, joined us on the Kindness Rising show and on Mornings in the Lab network, where we continue every day to get up and get after it. Absolutely. Big gestures make wonderful stories, but kindness makes a life, and the surprise gets remembered. The consistency gets felt. And Danda could make a grand gesture. She could find a stranger from a sticker. She could send a gift to someone she had never met. She could bring a belly dancer to a freaking yacht. But the reason those stories matter isn't that they weren't the exceptions. They were the pattern. Yep. The same woman who tracked down number 6 was the same woman who cared for her grandson every day. The same woman who celebrated Joseph Harsh at 90, remembered people for years. The same woman who reached first kept reaching. So as we close this week, don't ask yourself whether you can become Danda, because you can't. There was only one. But maybe the world is prepared for you to be another one, right? Or a different kind of Danda. Maybe perhaps something like figuring out who you can notice and who you can reach and who you can approach with curiosity instead of assumptions. That was Danda's way. Notice reach first, stay curious, remember, and keep showing up. That's what I'll do on Monday when I come back here to Kindness Rising. I appreciate every single one of you sticking around all week long. Have a great weekend, everyone. And until Monday, stay uncommon and stay kind.